Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies. Before we jump into this linebacker video, man, I want y'all to do me a favor. Follow that Twitch channel at the Boot Tragedies. Join that Discord. The same thing. The links are in the description. Also follow the Twitter at the Boot Tragedies. I will be in those things much more often, much more active once training camp starts, which is next week. Now, before we get into the main guys, we'll talk about some of the guys on the roster last year. That's going to be maybe rotational pieces at best, special teams guys. We can start with Kendall Ellis, had 17 tackles last season, 1 sack. Zach Bond, who had 30 tackles last year, was a pretty high draft pick for the Saints. I thought he was going to turn into a pass rusher. Hasn't shown that yet. Maybe this year he'll get a chance to be that third linebacker, but I think he'll be a special teams rotational guy. Then you got Andrew Dow, who had a good training camp last year, finished the season with 15 tackles. He's kind of in the same boat as Kendall Ellis and Zach Bond, in my opinion. And we also have a couple new guys, starting with DeMarco Jackson, linebacker, 5th round pick out of Appalachian State. Obviously, we don't know what he can bring to this team, to this roster. He's going to be fighting for a roster spot. I think he'll make it think he'll kind of fit in that same boat as a rotational guy, special teams guy. I think he'll get more opportunity to be a rotational guy just because we haven't seen him. Don't really know what he can do, so we have to put him out there in game action to see what he can do, man. A 5th round pick, not super high, not super low, kind of a project guy. We'll see what he has, once the season gets rolling on. Also, we have Eric Wilson, who's kind of a wild card X factor with us. 2020, he had a super good season, finished with 122 tackles, 62 solo tackles and 2 sacks, but then he left, went to Philadelphia/Houston, where he only had 46 total tackles. So it was a drop off in play there. I didn't watch his entire, game film from those teams and why he, was let go by the Vikings, but he was let go for some reason. Had a bad drop off year last year. Hopefully he can return to that 2020 Eric Wilson. Then him, Pete Werner, Demario Davis will be a great trio for us. Now we could jump into Pete Werner, who was a part of that draft class last year. This will be his 2nd year. Didn't really get to play a whole lot for the Saints last year just because they started Demario Davis and had Quan Alexander, which is 2 very good linebackers for a rookie to be competing with. But last year, Pete Werner finished with 15 games, had 8 starts, 62 total tackles, 36 solo tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and he only played 40% of the available snaps to him, which is very good, man. If you look at a guy like, I'll compare him to Quan real quick, who played 71% of the total snaps he was available to play, only had 50 tackles to Warner's 62, had 37 solo tackles to Warner's 36, had 7 tackles for loss to Warner's 4. So, Pete Werner basically outplayed him or played at the same level as him, only playing 40% of the available snaps, while Quan Alexander plays 71% of his available snaps. I say all of that to say I think Pete Werner is going to have a very excellent year. I'm just going to predict these stats based on he's going to play 17 games. We're doing all this based on everyone being healthy, everyone playing 17 games. And if he does play 17 games, I can honestly see him finishing with 100 tackles, about 50 solo tackles, and maybe, 8 to 9 tackles for loss. I think he's that good. I think he has Pro Bowl talent. I'm not saying he'll make the Pro Bowl next year, but I do think once he slides into that middle linebacker position, whenever Demario Davis, hangs it up or loses the step, he will be a Pro Bowl caliber player. He's just that good, that talented. I'm expecting big things from him this season. Like I said, finishing with 62 tackles, 36 solo last year, playing 40% of those available snaps. If he just gets that to 70, 75%, 80%, I do think he can get 100 tackles this season. Now we'll move on to the most consistent player the Saints have had probably for the last 3 to 4 years. Demario Davis, man, one of the best linebackers in the NFL. Top 5, top 3 in my opinion. The guy's just that good. Does everything well for the Saints, man. And looking at last year, played 16 games, started 16 games, finished with 105 tackles, 70 solo tackles, 13 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, all-pro 2nd team, and played 99% of the snaps available to him. And believe it or not, this was a down year for Demario Davis. I'm not saying he's done. I'm not saying he's finished, but he's maybe lost 1/8 of instep. He didn't lost a full step, a half a step. He lost 1/8 of instep. This is his first time having under 110 tackles since 2016 when he finished with 99. But like I said, still an all-pro caliber player, man. He's still that guy. So I'm expecting nothing else from Demario Davis but to be an all-pro caliber player, maybe for 1 or 2 more years. I think he's 32, about to turn 33 soon. So he has a couple good years in those legs, maybe more as a rotational guy. But as an all-pro guy, we may get 1 or 2 more great Demario Davis years, so we should appreciate it wise here. As far as those stat prediction goes, man, I think he'll finish with right around 110 tackles, which has been his average for the last 4 years. About 75 solo tackles, 15 tackles for loss, and about 2 to 3 sacks. I think that's a great year. That's an all-pro year for him. He's going to be a leader of this defense. And there's going to be so many guys on this team that's running and chasing after the ball. If his tackles are down, I wouldn't be surprised, man. It's just so much elite talent on this defense when you get Marcus May, P.J. Williams, Tyrann Mathieu, Lattimore, Gardner Johnson, Pete Werner, Cam Jordan, Davenport. It's so many guys that everyone's stats may be down. Let's take that in consideration. Everyone's stats may be down just because there's so many guys on the team, so many good guys that are going to be, breaking free, getting free tackles. So we'll see how that plays out for everyone on the team. It's a good problem to have in our case. But I do think this linebacker core will be good, man. Demario Davis and Pete Werner will lead the way with Eric Wilson, Zach Bond, Kendall Ellis, Andrew Dow, DeMarco Jackson. I do think this is a very, very good linebacking core. Definitely top heavy. If we brought some more guys in for some depth, signings, maybe, try to win a roster spot, that wouldn't surprise me at all. But the starters are good, along with everyone we have in the secondary on the defensive line. This defense is headed for an historical year. Hopefully we can stay healthy and put it together because on paper it's looking damn good right now. Let me know what y'all think about the guys, man. How good do y'all think this duo can be with Pete Werner and Demario Davis basically going to be playing the bulk of the snaps? How many years of elite play do you think Demario Davis has left? Do you think Pete Werner can slide into that role? Do you think we should bring in more guys? Anything you want to drop in those comments below, let me know, man. Let me know y'all stats as well. Predict y'all stats for these linebackers in the comments below, man. Do you think Zach Bond, Kendall Ellis, DeMarco Jackson, or Eric Wilson will step up and take someone's spot? We all know that's not happening. But anything you want to let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to follow that Twitch, join that Discord. Also, follow me on Twitter, all at DaBoot Tragedies, man. Links are in the description. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Shout out to Chevy Camara, man, for the membership. Also, I forgot to say that last video. Shout out to him for joining the membership, man. You don't have to do it, but if you do it, it's greatly appreciated on this channel, man. Also, the donate tab, if you donate to the channel, it's only going to make the channel better equipment, etc. And as always, man, this DaBoot Tragedies, and I'm out.